Here are the 2025 Ford Explorers. We have the ST line in rapid red versus the ST in carbonized gray metallic, both with the Onyx Active X interior. One is gonna get styling, one is gonna get performance. The nice thing is you still have options, and going into Platinum tier, you can still option the same engine that's in the ST line and the Active. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. We're gonna see which one's gonna be better for you. Starting in the front, full refresh, you can tell both of them LED headlights, daytime runnings, that's standard. It integrates into a more round grille with the gloss black elements. The Explorer badging is going to still come out on the top, but what I like about these two colors, it doesn't look like a sheriff. So if you don't want to look like a police officer, you might want to consider these two vehicles. ST badging is only going to be on the true ST, which it should, because this is a styling element on the ST line. The lower gets the gloss black. Both are going to have front parking sensors with a 360-degree reverse camera and LED fog lights. Also underneath the hood, though, changes the ball game a little bit. On the ST line, you're getting the 2.3-liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder turbocharged. That's producing 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, optioned with a rear-wheel drive, or you can have an all-wheel drive. Achieving 20 mpgs for the city, 29 mpgs for the highway, opposed to the twin-turbo 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6. That's getting 18 mpgs for the city, 25 mpgs for the highway. So that is something to consider, because both of these vehicles' towing capacity is now at 5,000 pounds, which has decreased from 2024. Underneath the hood here, 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. Both are paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Both have the upgraded 21-inch, 5 double-spoke alloy wheels with the red brake calipers. Now, when I say which one's better, it's not just MPGs. The drive itself is going to be a lot more engaged when you go into the true ST. But if you're looking for the savings and the best in class with performance, you can't go wrong with either. ST line badging on the side, gloss black for the A-pillar, the side view mirrors, and we have raised roof rails similar to Subaru, but you're not gonna have the same ground clearance, but you're gonna have just as much towing capacity. Now, it's gonna be less than Nissan, that's the best in class, and Nissan may change that V6 engine to the VC turbocharged 4-cylinder like the new QX60, which would be less power either way you go than this. Going into Toyota, they don't even option a V6. This is going to be a little bit less in MPGs, but it's gonna be a little bit quicker because it weighs a little bit less. And as for Honda, you're gonna have the same towing capacity, and when you start going into this variant, this is going to be more powerful than that naturally aspirated V6. So it's a no-brainer, and for me, I know it's over $10,000 difference, but the engine performance is a lot different too. I would go to the ST. The rear is also going to be a little bit more unique. We got quad exhaust tips for the lower. Standard LED taillights. It looks like a light bar that goes into the Explorer badging. Reverse parking sensors with a 360-degree reverse camera. Going into either of the two, you're not going to be disappointed though, because you start opening features going into the ST line. If you go into the base Active, you're not going to get standard amenities or even options that you can get on these two vehicles. But for me, I like the more horsepower, especially if you're thinking about a Lincoln, because it's going to come standard with this power option. However, the price is going to be $10,000 to near $20,000 difference. But let me know your thoughts in the comments about that. Since both of them are the same specs for the cargo, it's going to start at 16.3 cubic feet. We're just going to do the ST line. You have the same nooks on both sides with the 12 volt that starts on the ST line. Underneath has more storage, and you can fold down these third row electronically at a 50-50 split. You can't do that when you are on the Active. That's going to increase cargo to nearly 50 cubic feet. Unfortunately, they did not think about the second row to fold down flat. You have to come into the back, pull the lever. That's gonna max cargo to 86 cubic feet, which is going to be a little bit less than the prior gen. But you know, let's go inside, start both of them up so you can hear that exhaust note. ST line, standard Active X seating with the cloth inserts, heated, no ST badging on the ST line, whereas the ST gets the badging in the seat and the kick plate. 12-way power seat adjustment for the driver and passenger with the ST line plate. Let's fire it up. Now, one thing you are noticing right off the bat with this refresh is the dashboard. It's kind of like a floating dashboard. It is actually pushed up more so, giving more interior space for the front occupants, especially with the leg room. And you can see the width. As for headroom, it's very good. You do not have a pano moonroof, but you can option it. Auto dimming rear view mirror, B&O upgraded sound system. You get a total of 10 speakers. The ST will get 14 speakers, and I like these speaker inlays that divide the dashboard. With the Explorer badging, you have this aluminum look that comes off. Wireless charging, you can't get that on the base Active. It is an option when you get into the ST with the new 13.2 infotainment screen with Google Maps, Google Play, Google Assist, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio with Wi-Fi hotspot. And when you use the rotary knob, putting it into reverse, we got a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can also zoom in for the toe, and you have a few different options here to zoom in for your reversing. You also have games, but unfortunately you can only do this when you're at a stop. But you can go to the Google Play Store, so that way you can tick the box for that, as well as YouTube, so you can watch me while you're driving your Ford Expedition. And massage seats is also option for the front occupants on the ST. 16-way power seat adjustment, standard tri-climate control settings, and I like that you still have a huge pocket here on the side. This has also been reworked, and it opens up into 2 USB ports with a 12-volt. It's a deep storage pocket. And the key fob for the Explorer. Now the ST line will not get the ST badging on the back. You'll have the Ford emblem, and you have your driver mode select here. They did not implement a full pass-through, which is a con to me, but you do receive a sleeve so you can at least put your mail. Driving modes, let's go through them. We have a ton. Starting with your tow, changing into sport, and I like that they still keep that little video that comes out, just keeps it alive for Ford. With a leather-wrapped steering wheel, it's heated. You don't get the ST badging because this is the ST line, multi-function, and you don't receive the paddle shifts. And the ST will get the badging here with the paddle shifts. It's going to be soft to touch, opens up into a deep storage pocket with another set of USB ports. Dashboard and door configure it together nicely. Soft materials come into play. You get the aluminum inlays, but it's more of a look than the actual touch and feel. One touch up and down for the windows, soft to touch where it needs to be, with a long storage pocket and a beverage holder that's even longer. Same style for the dashboard with the B&Os, even though you have more speaker layout. Going into the back, captain seat configuration, 7-seat or 6-seat is what we have here. Third climate control sets us off, the home plug, USB ports. Pull this, you get your cup holders, storage beyond both of the front seats, air vents in the ceiling, as well as clothing hangers. Headroom, not going to be an issue. Leg space is not going to be an issue. This also adjusts forward and backwards to make it a little bit easier for third row occupants, and you can also recline these with manual sunshades. Grab handle here on the side. It's not that tall, so it's easy to get in, but I like that they keep everything soft. You have a cup holder in the top, 2 more in the bottom. Going into the back, simple enough. Pull the lever, slide it forward. That's the room that you got for somebody at my dimensions at 6'3". 2 USB ports is going to be in the back with the storage sleeve. A cup or beverage holder here with a couple storages, as well as the air vents in the ceiling. Slide this back so you can see leg space. But on this side, nothing for charging. You can only do it on one side. You do still receive cup holders and storage, but it's definitely not a pro when you can only use it on one side. Headroom isn't bad though. The ST line with 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, that is pretty crazy considering that's standard. This is the power you get, which we're gonna slow it down a second so we can go on the interstate and show you the real power. Maneuverability, gets in and out without any issues. She's quick, does what she needs to do, You get some of that exhaust note that filters in. 21-inch wheels. The ride isn't bad in comfort. I do hear a pretty good amount of road noise coming in though, so the sound deadening could be a little bit better. The screen configuration is going to be more in your face. I'm okay with that because this is kind of standard on all vehicles, and it doesn't feel that large, meaning from the width, but the length actually feels very long whenever you're looking back. Seat comfort is good, has a good bolstering. It feels more sport derived, but I like how it contours to your body. There is no leg cushion extensions, but it does come nearly to my knees. I'm at 6'3", so I'm pretty pleased with that. 10-speed automatic transmission, so I'm getting pretty decent fuel economy. And visibility is great. I'm nearly at 8 inches. I like that the ST line offers you some amenities like the wireless charging pad, because that does not come standard on the active or base trim. And you'll have a 6-speaker layout where we have B&O's 10 speakers here. Now, obviously, the ST, it goes a little bit further in interior amenities plus features. But overall, I mean, it's not bad. I'm liking what I'm getting. Plus, I still have heated front seats. I'm not getting the ventilated seats like I will be getting in the ST, in the same towing capacity, so it ticks the box for that everyday use. And give her a little go. Even though it's a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, it does feel very torque happy at a low note. And even when you're getting up onto the interstate, it doesn't die. So I like that you still have the capacity for the vehicle to keep going, because sometimes with these turbocharged 4s, it just feels like it's not going to make it to 70 miles per hour. You're not gonna have that same issue here. Now it's gonna take me to some pros and cons, starting with the pros for the ST line, is that you're getting the aesthetics of the sport on the exterior, but you're not sacrificing with your MPG. So you don't have to go into the twin turbo V6. You'll still have a sufficient amount of power because everybody in class has less horsepower and torque than this. For the second and third row, it's still just as comfortable. You do sit up a little bit higher in the second row opposed to the third row, which is a con to me, but I still like that headroom is efficient for somebody that's tall. You can configure this as a 6 or 7 passenger vehicle, so it does make it a little bit more optimal. And this also has the upgraded Ford Pass 2.0, so you could drive this vehicle about 0.2 to 0.3 miles without having to be too engaged. Now you will be hitting more of a 3 RPM pretty much everywhere you're going when you option this Turbo 4, but that's also to be expected because it's a heavy vehicle. 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. Is it night and day difference from the ST line? Well, let's see. It just takes off. Now the exhaust does not necessarily come in as much as the ST line, which is surprising. This is going to be a lot more quiet. The sound deadening is a lot better. Massage seats, so it's a lot more comfortable for a longer drive. The seat cushion is going to be the same because they're both sport bolstering. You do feel a little bit more clearance in this one. Both have the same 21-inch wheels, so you're gonna feel some of the imperfections. But when you go ST, you're expecting to have more of a performance drive, and I feel that you're going to unlock it. It's an exciting vehicle, especially considering that you're getting all that power. Now for me, like I was saying on the exterior, I would go the extra 10 grand and get the more powerful variant, but then that also opens the question of should I go into the Platinum trim, because you can also option the Turbo 4 there and get all the features. When you go ST, you can only get this engine option, and that's going to take me to some pros and cons. And the pros obviously have to be that you got more performance, you get massage seats, you get more features, plus more standard features, upgraded sound. There's a lot of pros going on. The cons, not a full pass-through. Not a huge fan of the rotary knob to engage it in gear. For the driver mode select, I'm okay with that. I mean, everybody does it. The infotainment screen coming out of the dash, not a huge fan of that. The gauge cluster, it's good, but where it sits, I have to actually move the steering wheel quite a bit in order to see some of the configuration. I like the speaker that comes out of the dashboard and the floating dashboard look. Not a huge fan of the way the wireless charging pad sits on this. I like it a little bit more so in the Lincoln, but I like that they give you a deep storage pocket. Plus you have over 8 different charging ports. And for maneuverability, you go this route opposed to the ST line, because you're going to have all the power that you need, and it's still hovering in the 60 grand pricing. You could get this under that, which makes this a sweet spot in my book, because when you're thinking about Toyota, Honda, Nissan, all those can go over 60 grand quick in order to get performance that's not even gonna be similar to this. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Furman Ford for giving us the 2 2025 Ford Explorers, the ST line versus the ST, for our car comparison review.